This is Boxing Tickets NI, and we're joined with Paddy the Patman Gallagher. Paddy, how's things been going?
Not too bad. Been doing alright. Training away, working from home, social distancing, taking it easy, sticking to the roads and being a good boy.
I think obviously last time we were speaking, just obviously before lockdown, obviously you were hoping to get a fight in Belfast in either April or May in the MTK cards.
I had one on, I think it was the 24th, 25th, it was the Friday show. And I got a fight that obviously then everything just went down and the whole show got bell, all the shows got pulled, so of course that didn't happen.
Obviously, I guess obviously the good thing that we've been more of an opinion of is seeing you continuing kind of normal boxing. Obviously in your last interview you were, will I stay, will I go, what you were doing. So what's made you think of staying on?
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I said I'm not going to talk about that stuff until it's time, when it's done. I'm sick of talking about it, and I think people are sick of hearing it, so I'm not going to talk about that until it's done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I guess obviously the big focus of the interview, you've been having a bit of back and forth with Michael Mckinson.
Mikey the problem, Mikey the pain in the arse.
So what's been going on with Mikey?
We were talking back and forward. He's been wanting to fight, and everybody's avoiding him, and no one wants him apparently. So I took the fight. I accepted the fight, and he's over the moon with it, and he's got a bit of an obsession now about it. I don't know what obsession about, but I said, was it only me he wants? He said, well, he's only the local, what do you call it, local, not the
Domestic
fighter that will take it, and he can't get a fight, so he's over the moon, and he just desperately wants to fight now, as do I, so let's hope it can happen. We agreed, and then obviously with things going on, fight just boxing in general, and with the COVID-19 destroying a lot of the economy in the world, and it's been changing back and forward and stuff, so unfortunately we got a couple of dates, we got to chat this, that and the other, and then a date didn't suit, so the fight got cancelled or held off, we're not too sure, so we're waiting, hopefully we get a different date. And then from that, get it going, hopefully, all being well.
Definitely. So I know obviously Mikey's had a bit of back and forth to say he wants to be MTK's #1 welterweight. Mm-hmm. Obviously he's vacated his WBO European title, so obviously going to be fought for a good friend of yours with Lewis Crocker.
Yeah.
Is there any ill feeling between you and Mikey, or is it just going to be sort of?
Well, he's annoying. Oh, well, I don't know, he's annoying, but he goes on and on and on. Like, I have my opinion of him, and I voiced it, no problem, I'll be behind the door. I think I've told him. I don't know any word, but I think I've told him in a way. He goes on a bit, but he does seem like a nice fella. I've met him once or twice, and he is sound. There are times when we talk. The other night we had a live on Instagram, where we're slobbering, then we're talking as if, what's happening with him? It was weird back and forward, but I do like him. That's not a disclaimer. I like the fella, but this, not that bullshit. I do like him because he can be sound, but he does get a wee bit lippy. He has had a few verbal jabs at me and said a few things, and he can be annoying me fucker. So yes, there's a bit of both there, and for good reason. So we've been caught in no man's land with him.
I think it's obviously a good thing sometimes you see in boxing that there can be a bit of rivalry up until the fight. There's always a genuine respect there as well.
Yeah, that's on the interview the other night, I said, look, this is what it is. We're going to slap each other back and forward. I'm going to call you this, you're going to call me that. We're going to win. We're going to beat the head of each other. I'm going to knock you out, and then by the time the fight's done, you're going to go turn around. Paddy, well done, congratulations. You were right. You did knock me out, and we just be friends and get on it. Maybe have another fight, maybe not. I don't know.
So you firmly believe that he's getting sparked out?
No, I'm confident that I will, but I'm not. When people are saying what round you're going to, I'm not one of them. I'm not that confident of that sound that I can predict or make predictions. No, winning, yes, knockout, more than likely.
I think you've never really been one for predictions. I think you've always been known as Paddy the talker, but you've had plenty of respect for opponents. I think. Jay Burns' birthday whenever he's fought Titanic and he bought him a cake.
That was good. I have a good upbringing and all as well, so I have a good way about me. I got modesty setting up, I got my own road. But I do respect people in general. People be texting people, chance or whatever, like, but I do have respect for boxers and people also. If you're a dick, and you really do. Like, for example, Gary Cochran, a few years ago, we were having a supposed to fight, back and forward. I said something and he took the neck and he ripped into me on some interview. fuck him, and then I called him all sorts and get stuck, and then I was back and forth, and then obviously I ended a disaster where I couldn't fight. And then I don't know, it was last year sometime, he had baby boys, twins. I said, congratulations, thank you very much, mate. Fuck, last time we had an exchange, I was calling you everything, you were calling me everything, and now, congratulations on your kid, thank you, mate. It's just the way boxing is, but you can, not so much hate, but you can have a bit of animosity against someone as well, but you have to respect people as well. People, like, they're in the same shoes as me, the same position as me, so I know what they're going through and why they're doing what they're doing. So, you know, you got to trust people.
I think sometimes fans of either boxers can sometimes get drawn into it, thinking that it's personal and all it is business.
Floyd Mayweather's the best. He done phrases and for the Pacquiao fight, I'm not sure it was the Pacquiao fight, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But up until his fight, he was always slabbering, always this, always that, and then after, I was supposed to sell tickets, I was just to sell the fight. Pacquiao and anything after, or coming up there after, we're saying, but why, I don't need to, this fight sell itself. I think he done already. He got more in his brew anyway, so he's doing alright. But with him, I said to him, I think if the fight does get made, even if it does get made, we'll probably just keep slabbing, even if we're not fighting. It's good fun. And I get ripped into him, and he's fond of getting ripped into me. He's done his few slayings and all as well. So I think if this fight does get made, I think it's probably the best build up to any fight I've had. Anyway, and I told him the other night it's going to be the most entertaining fight he's ever had. Which is true. And
that's what it's all about at the minute. You know, there's no thing there to sell tickets at the minute, so you need sometimes that bit of rivalry there. You know, I think since fights have started since lockdown, there's been no real conferences together.
Yeah,
no real
we've got a slapper and all as well. But I would usually do, but this one, I don't know, I get stuck into him. I guess getting stuck into me. So let's hope the momentum builds, and then if I get made of it.
Definitely. You know, I started saying off camera before we started. You know, looking at the domestic scene at the minute, you know, there's, you know, two other welterweight fights. Obviously Lewis and Green to be made for the WBO European, and then obviously you've Luther Clay and Chris Congo. So obviously if you put yourself and Mikey in there, you've 6 of probably the top 10 welterweights in the country. So it's pretty much like a Super 6.
Definitely, that'd be good. Super 6 or. What we're saying as well, you put Jenkins and Brennan, put them in, and then you've got 8, there's quarterfinals. I mean, someone could make that. Aren't going to watch this with these months for the cash in. Or maybe what I call the gold contract. Maybe MTK get to it. Good platform where the first 2 are very, very good. I got class the layout of it and the money from what I hear now as well. And what way they're doing it. And I think it's been, I don't know the facts, but I think it's been very successful, I would imagine. So maybe they could do something like that and make that happen. I think that would be all right.
Definitely would be. Obviously, you know, I think you're probably going to have the big confidence. You know, if you did have a fight with Mikey, I think he did 50 amateur fights. Obviously, he had a very highly decorated amateur career.
Yeah.
You know, so looking at him overall, I think he did 68 fights all in. So, you know, you probably had that before you were 14.
I honestly probably had close to 50 losses as an amateur. You know, from the start and the end. I probably went 130 fights, say 40, 50 losses. Sure, he's got as much losses as he has fights in an amateur career, but there was obviously something about him. So I don't know what you're getting at there as well, but his experience wouldn't be as much. I think most British fighters not like that. You say to someone like on GB Sport, how many fights they had? They're 46. Well, this week or all together your whole career.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy so high and all as well, they don't fit as much, but a lot of mine would have been as a kid when I only joined Glen, I got club shows flat out, loads. It was classing with it as a kid, I guess when I was like 15 or something at the time. Got loads and loads of club shows, that's the noise that happened in Glen. Desi had loads of links with lots and lots of clubs around the country and away Korea, and I don't know where that is. Anyway, Korea, out farming country. No, we were all the show, went all different places, and had loads and loads of fights, had loads of losses and all as well. But I think it's done alright, like I said, at the end of it all. All things considered. Do
you think, as boxing is moving forward now, do you think people's going to have less amateur fights? You know, like you look at.
I think people have a lot less everything.
You look at
fights, jobs, fuck's sake, well, that's going on like, but fight wise, yes, it has declined. Like I said, we had club shows loads of time, used to be like 25, 30 of us. You know, back at that age, this was 2006, 2007, no, probably about 2005, I think I joined. Gone through and by 2016 was about 25, 30 plus teenagers, go from 11 up to 16, 17. We were getting fights, used to be fucking 3 cards was going. No, on a Friday, then a couple of cards on a Saturday, a different club and all as well. And then the last few years, just less and less and less. Like, I remember saying, why is there that much club shoes? Like, I don't be involved in amateur as much. I've been taking the under 10s up the club, and I would help out or come and support some of the boxers when they are fighting, like, but I wouldn't be in amateur boxing that much in a way. But I've been coming back into it last year or so, and I was just thinking, where are all these club shows? And there's not as much anymore, you don't hear that much, but yeah. I don't know, the thing with GB and all them is they have low, they're classed, got a high, they got a high level.
Performance team.
They're high level as well, that's what I'm going to say, a high level, and not that much fights, but they're training, loads of spars, maybe loads of test matches and all as well, so that's starting to come here, like John Cannon with the Ulster boxing, I've been up around those times, it's class in the way they've got that set up now, they've all working together, and then they go away and do test matches in different countries, then the countries coming here and all, Georgetown, and then obviously down in Dublin they're doing the same kind of thing, so I think that's where it makes up, like you're not fighting that much, but you're getting like high level experience and sparring and test matches and all as well, rather than just getting a club through 2 kids clapping the head each other as well. So,
do you think it's obviously the youngsters coming through, you probably think that whenever they hit pro that they're, they think that there's loads of money out there when it's obviously the total opposite?
There's loads of money out there somewhere, I just can't find them. I don't know, like, I would love, I don't know if people, if they're appreciative of me enough or back me enough, I would love as much as I want me, if anyone's looking to turn pro to come ask me and I give my honest opinion and tell them, not advice, I wouldn't say don't go pro, well, unless they really, really need it to, like, but I'm giving advice before you go pro or when you're going pro. Do this. I remember when I went pro, I went and got my own medical done and all. I told me, I'll lie, we wait lie. I was getting a few things sorted and all that, I'll tell you what. But I paid my own medical, my own license and all that there just to try and get a manager. I remember going there and I said, what they have to do to be a pro boxer. And it was some forum and it was saying, oh, you need a manager, you need a promoter, you need a trainer and all the rest of it. I haven't done the blind kind of. I was 20, 21 or 22 at the time as well. I didn't know too much about it, but now obviously I know a lot, so I would love to give advice. Personally, if anyone came and asked me, I would give them as much as I could and tell them what not to do, kind of.
Well, I guess obviously it's hard sometimes to look back, but what would you change differently in your career, if you were to restart again?
Loads, well, not so much loads, but I wouldn't have the prize fitter. I think I'd go on fights and all as well, prize fitter, but as well, contract in a way maybe. I didn't have much of an option. I wish I had just went right on, I'll wait it out, I'll suck it up and something will come instead, but I went in because I didn't have too much or much more options. And anything else? A few different things, training ways and all that, I don't want to say about anyone, but we'll try and be a bit more prepared going into COVID as well, and there's loads of different things we give different things to people, but I will. But try and get the main one is make sure you have a good team around you. The proper team, not just have a trainer or a customer, trainer, manager, people who got the people who work with you, people who are going to help you out as well. Go into think more business, don't just go and fight anyone just because it comes. First thing you have to sometimes, which I had to, and it set me back in a way. But I think I've done alright. I'll continue. I'll be better.
You've always been the fighter that doesn't turn down fights. At the end of the day, you're in the fight game to fight. So I think if say people that follow Michael Mckinson were watching the interview, they would look at your record in box rec and go, what's going on here? But there's so many fighters out there that will avoid a fight nowadays, whereas you don't even have to go, what's the money like? You're straight on.
That's it. Well, I've turned down a couple of fights the last, or all in my whole career. I've turned down almost. Mckinson, he got to dig me the other day and told, oh sure you turned me down last year, which I did, and I put it publicly, but then a half an hour of doing it, just go for people, he goes on, fuck, Paddy shit himself on as well. I didn't shit myself. The reason why I said no to that fight, because I was going to have to fight in Liam Wells. I was like, that's coming off a good win. I want something from home, because I'm always going to America, going to Wales, going to England, going to Scotland, for everyone else. I said I want to get some home. MPK are getting better here, the shows are getting good, and had the feeling as well, because at that time I wasn't on it. So hopefully I get something like that, and if I get something at home, it'd be good. So I did, I got my opportunity, got my home show against Shackers, it never fucking happened, so I was like, nah, let's go anywhere from now on. No point, stay home, still doesn't work out for you, so you'll be right, you get up one way and hopefully.
I remember the fight week for obviously Liam Wells' fight. You're obviously, we're asking, is there still any room on the field? You're always on one show and then you're looking at another. Remember you coming back from America and obviously you just pretty much landed and were straight to Europa for the common homecoming card.
No, I don't mind taking fights. I'm not afraid of people. I'm not afraid of people digging me or chasing people. There's obviously some people you would prefer not to fight like, but I wouldn't just I don't want to. It'd be hard for them to get me to say no. It's not impossible. I can just say it, so I'm not playing hypocrite there. Or contradict myself. It'd be hard for me to say no.
Definitely would. Looking obviously at a fight that was announced yesterday, what's your thoughts on Earl Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia?
Spence. I think Spence is the man. The only person that beat him would be Crawford, but still fancy Spence and that. Spence is unreal.
Does it sort of show that, of where Spence has come from, that he's not happy to go back with a relatively easy fight and wants to get straight back in the deep end?
There you go. Has he got the IBF still?
He's IBF and WBC.
Or has Garcia got the WBC?
No, Garcia has lost his last two.
Oh, right. Well, I thought they would bring him one each. I definitely Spence. I think Spence is the number one.
He's definitely a different gravy, as it
he's
says.
unreal. I remember seeing a couple of fights, or one of his fights, or his fight, I can't remember, it was in the Olympics. I went, fuck, he's unreal, and then when he turned pro, he just took off like that. So I think someone ever seen him, or he ever maybe was from the team knew this is the man here. And he's been unreal of what's probably all his fights by now. I thought he was unreal against Garcia. Mikey Garcia, obviously a different reason, there was lots of abilities long for him, but just he was unbelievable. Just high down ring and flawless.
Very, very strong at the weight as well, too.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Stay off as well.
Looking obviously at domestic level, there's a lot of domestic fights getting made at the moment. What's your thoughts on Khan versus Brook? Do you think a fan still want to fight?
I don't know. I think if it would happen, people would like it. Look at Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. People are getting excited about it. So I think Conor Brown, people still will get excited. Be definitely good fight. I don't. It's not gonna happen, is it?
Don't think so. I think.
Approach or saying there, but I don't think it'll happen. I got to came upon.
I think Brooks been obviously looking at fighting Crawford recently. I know that a lot of talk's been Crawford and Pacquiao, in Saudi Arabia, but obviously that talk seems to have.
I heard Pacquiao and Golovkin as well. And Vegas, I don't know. I heard that. Did you hear that?
I heard something that saying if Golovkin could go down to 147, Pacquiao would fight him. The size of Golovkin, he's never getting anywhere near that.
No, I wouldn't.
You were probably lucky to get him down to 154 now.
No, based. No, see you.
So, what's your thoughts been on the shows? We've obviously had two Frank Warren shows and two fight camp shows at Eddie Hearn's Garden.
I haven't seen too much. I've seen Kenny's fight, unbelievable. He's getting better and better, and he's an absolute beast. I like it. So, I seen that fight, and then I seen the other night the Gorge fight. It was very good. What do you call him?
Harper and Jonas.
Harper and Jonas. That was brilliant. Very, very good fight. Me and Dan actually met Jonas a few years ago. Sound, very, very sound. But I thought it was a brilliant scrap, and I haven't seen any of the other ones. I mean, must have been Boston.
Staying out of it, sort of. I guess obviously, a lot of Irish boxers fighting this week. You've obviously the MTK show in Wakefield on Wednesday. And then obviously you have Eric Donovan fighting on Friday night. And then obviously you have Carl and Mick. Paddy Donovan fighting on Saturday night.
Plenty happening this week, so hopefully it'll be a clean sweep. I've seen you put up a trainer for Frampton.
Yeah, just announced there at 12 o'clock today.
Did that announce it? Yeah. I've seen you put up, he's in the report or something. I found he's got no problem. I was hoping, there was talks the other day, or I was saying last week it can't happen, but everybody would hope him and David Albert Joyce think it'd be a cracker. I think it'd be a cracker scrum, obviously, with their history now as well, and we just see the stage, but I think it'll be a good fight if that was to happen at some point, but I don't think it will. I think if any time would have been there, because Frampton more likely fight for world title next time.
Yeah, I think obviously the Jamel Hearn fight's pretty much nailed on. I think he's fighting first week of September, and then they're looking at November, December. I think obviously what they're I think Irish boxing put it up last week. Supposedly MTK's thoughts are doing Mckinson and Davy Rejoice towards the end of the year.
The fighting short?
Yeah. So obviously Davy's down at Super Bantam now, where Mick's coming down to, so a good fight to test the water before a world title fight.
He can make a lot of trouble, a bit cracking fight. What a big good fight.
Definitely would.
What happens?
What do you think's changed with Irish boxing recently? Do you think it's, do you think a lot of people seeing a better spotlight in Irish boxing with a lot of the cards?
What do you mean? Do you think people around the world are seeing Irish boxing as bigger than it was?
Well, I think, in all the UK shows at the minute, there's always been an Irish boxer, at least in every card. So
we're getting about, definitely. There's more and more people, and then titles like world titles and Commonwealth titles and all as well are coming bit by bit over the years. This is probably not a coincidence. The high performance is getting better and better. Was it 15 years ago or 16 years ago? The Olympics had one Andy Lee. Obviously 2016 wasn't a great one, but it's getting better and better. High performance. Then there's world titles, there's European titles, all the rest of it, Commonwealth Games and Olympic medals and all the rest of it. So Irish boxing is getting better and better amateur, and then it's obviously coming into the world title as well. So seeing kind of things like they have been away, so more and more will creep in, then all of a sudden 10, 15 top level fighters, where it was usually 2 or 3 only 5, 10 years ago. So it's getting better that way, definitely. Definitely
is, and obviously it's going to breed very well for the future. A lot more, potential world champions coming out there.
It's well, there you go, top rank. I don't know when the last time was here before, if they were ever here over the last 30 years. Do you know what I mean? Now they're coming, they're going to see more people. I don't know if they had anyone. 5, 6 years ago, we've got Mick, we've got Paddy Gallagher, we've got Frampton. We've got more. There's 3 at least Irish fighters same top rank, one of the biggest promotional companies in the world. So that is good. Let's bring them over here and get more and more people involved, more and more people seeing it as well.
Definitely is, and as I say, I've seen a scary stat. I think obviously after Tenny's fight, I think Mark Dunlop had asked, how many Irish boxers had won the Triple Crown, and Tenny became the 4th Irish boxer to win British, Commonwealth and European.
Unreal. It's just what we were talking about earlier. It's unreal what he's done. It has to be like Catholic title, Irish title, British title, Commonwealth title, European title, World title, and you just clean up obviously a couple of international titles and all that would be already on the way, like he's done. So I get the world title and you've got the full rack, it'd be unbelievable. I don't know if anyone else has here, do they?
Nobody is ever in the I think there was a debate on Twitter not long ago. They were asking everybody to complete the full set. And like people like Lee Selby had missed out like a low ranking title to complete the lot. Whereas when you look at it from Irish boxing, Tenny's completed the full set, other than the world title now.
So Frampton, sure, got the British title.
From never the British title. When you think of the amount of boxers.
That's fucking big time history. I'll be honest, I've seen a picture of his belts the other day as well.
Tenny, I think he nearly needed to put on an extra pair of jeans just to hold more belts.
Right, as well.
But when you think of the fighters we've had, we obviously belts, you Carl and you Wayne McCulloch never fought for the British title. It just shows the level of boxing is.
Definitely. A few world titles. They said world titles, European, Commonwealth titles as well, so definitely, go ahead.
Just like to mention that like a lot of people don't realise Paddy should have the Celtic, the British and the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So like all 3 of them belts. So Paddy went and got a European as well, which was very close too. So like Paddy very easily could have been in that position and actually a bit of obviously state, what we would say state corruption. Maybe stopped us from having the British and the Commonwealth, so we had Catholic British Commonwealth and very easy, more than talented to go on and win a European. You know what I mean?
I see Loranga, I think he's moved up now, he beat Tyrone Nurse points at the weekend.
I watched clips on it. It was after that fight, so it was after that fight and the Mckinson fight, both on the 8th. And then obviously Mckinson, that was the first day we had. Like after both of them, it was him back and forward. I would have preferred personally the Raga fight, just because of the style of the fight. Because I love it when people are like, why do you want this style? I love it. A couple of clips around the head, me giving him giving me. The style of fight and all as well, and I think it would be sort of better for me, so it was more towards that, and then a couple of other things put me towards the Mckinson fight, so that's when I accepted that. And I was offered, and we were trying to get the benefit around that time, and I was offered Florian Marquis that time as well, and I said yes to that, so I had 4 fights in the line at one point.
Everybody's on demand for Paddy Gallagher.
I know, everybody wants a piece of it, I don't know why. There's something I don't know, they're incredibly stupid.
I guess obviously touching on Conor Ben, you know, not to sort of put the foot in a wee bit, but I know yourself, you've put your name in the hat for Conor Ben. Lewis Crocker put his name in the hat for Conor Ben. He seems to be looking past fighters he should be looking at.
I think he just wants to, as far as I know, he's just looking to get the Jackets fight. There's talking about it as well in a couple of interviews, and I've heard people talking about it and stuff. I think he just wants to get the Jackets fight because he fancies himself, possibly, I imagine. I'm sure he fancies himself anyway, but that fight, I know there's a lot of reward there with the prediction will come off.
He did lap the Paddy fight.
He said no to me a couple of times.
Conor Ben said no to you a couple of times.
I imagine why.
What do you think it is? Do you think he just knows that?
He's got knocked out.
I don't know. A few people have said, and I've said as well, it's a very, very risky fight for me for reward wise. There's no titles there, and then they come in, oh, he's 16-6 now. Andy won. Next time, I take you out by the roof.
Okay.
I think it's done. And I heard there's not much enough for you as well, so it is hard to. I'd imagine it'll be hard enough to get my fight. Oh, we got my fight, and then that fell through.
I guess sometimes they look, you know, if somebody was looking at your record and not knowing, they would go, let's get a fight with him. But obviously Eddie Hearn and Conor Ben's team aren't stupid, and they know the talent obviously behind the record.
That's it. Like I said, it could be hard for me. The Marku fight, I think that would have been a crack show him.
Yeah, Florian Marku.
Is he Albanian or Georgian?
He's fought a couple of times on the Ultimate Boxer.
He fought in Donnelly, maybe when I was there. He fought there. Someone told me about it, and then I lost this. Came out fighting him sweat. It was good around.
Looks a bit like you as well.
Good opportunity. I was like, that's not good looking, is he? He's alright, but come on.
I think I'd actually text you a picture of him tonight, and I said I didn't realise you were fighting on a boxer.
Oh jeez, you're fly.
Sells loads and loads of tickets as well too.
I heard that. They love him. That's good. Big guy.
I think he was looking for the Conor Ben fight as well, and I think Conor Ben was asking who he was.
The golden goose kind of thing. I didn't know who it was then. Says, oh, we'll give you this much money for that much rounds, and it's against them out west. Mate, what?
Take it in a heartbeat?
Oh yeah. Actually, I said yeah, and then they said no. They were trying to get me a big chat, and they ended up not taking it, unfortunately. And then it came with the Raga fight, and it came with the Mckinson fight, and we were trying to get that was all around a few days. I'm sitting here with a whole lot. And if I had took the Carmen fight, I would have got a fight. We would have been fighting him the other night, but such is life.
Definitely is. I guess obviously two boxers have missed out, obviously on the domestic level. I think they're due to fight October, Josh Kelly and Dave Avanesian.
Isn't the Hearns on the way over? I put the car or the thing on, was just listening to the audio on the way over, and Hearn was saying about it, and he says I'd have to reschedule that date, so I just heard that getting mentioned. It'll be a good fight.
Very good fight.
Very, very good fight.
Avanesian's very, very strong. He stopped Loranga twice.
First one was a cracker. Second one was a wee bit iffy.
That was the first round knockback, second time, wasn't it?
Calling my job as he come in and the balance law went and the ref stopped it. I don't know, I'm sure the ref had his reasons. Not talking about refs. I know reasons. But no, the second one was a wee bit iffy as well. It was two fights he defended very. The first one he won his European title, the second one he defended, so kudos.
Definitely is. Obviously, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, the Mckinson fight can be made. What do you think maybe might be holding it up at the moment? Just a show being announced?
Just the dates, because there was a few things, and then we were accepting all as well. I don't know if it was 100% confirmed or whatever, but we were accepting dates, and then there was, like I said, there's things getting changed, then there's restrictions, and then can't do this, can't do that as well. And then the dates says yes, one suits this, one suits not, and then the dates says, sorry, that doesn't suit me. So it can be made, so hopefully it's still in the pipeline, or it's still there around TK, trying to get it made, or we'll get it made, and then, bang, get it done. So the corner head boy behave, shut up.
Any final words for Mikey then?
Back him, Mikey! Don't know if you're moving it, man, I'll be fucking less than hopefully we get this fight made. We've both openly said it. We do want it. I've told him what's going to happen. He told me what's going to happen. He shared it there. He says I'm not going to lay a glove on him. I don't sweat. I told him I'm going to knock him out. So either one of them happened. Sorry, the fight happens and then mine will happen. Sorry, I was trying to get tipped there. Hopefully the fight happens and then I do a job on him. And then, I don't know, maybe we get a second fight or I get a good fight for a title or something good. I don't know. I'm not a psyche or a manager, so I just hopefully this fight happens with him and then take it from there.
Definitely. Well, listen, Paddy, thanks very much for your time, and fingers crossed also we can get some fight news with Mikey soon.
Yes, good stuff.
Cheers, thank you.
Bye.